Nigerians no longer take 3 square meters.
Yeah, that's true.
Majority of homes now.
That's true. That's
Majority of homes.
You're correct.
Except a few people who want to say, no. But let the truth be told.
You're correct.
A majority of homes now do 2 square meters and not even 3 any longer.
I just feel for those children, you know, subjecting those children to go hungry for hours just because you want to keep the 011 or 101 kind of meal.
Majorly it's 011. You know, because in the morning hours that you're supposed to have breakfast between 8 and 9.
They skip it till at about 12:01.
Yes.
And then when they eat that one 12:01, they will tell you, you've eaten for the day. Then the next one will come by maybe 8 o'clock.
Yes. And they'll tell you, they'll form a prayer. They say we're praying.
We're praying, we're fasting.
No, the way we say we're fasting,
We're praying.
so you can imagine pray for 3 hours.
People do it.
All in the name
People do it.
all in the name of trying to avoid breakfast.
I'm telling you.
Do you know then when
It's
you
so
come
sad.
down from 3 hours, right? You now use another
Yes,
2
another
hours to chase the children around. Go and sweep your room. Go and wash your plate. Go and wash your clothes.
Then you're buying time. And these children will not understand that this is
No.
actually what they're trying to do, what the parents are trying to do.
Then
Trying to keep them away from food.
Then you see the youngest in the house go to one corner and start squeezing. When you ask him what the problem is, say I'm hungry.
No, but it's not nice. See, do you know, Tano, I actually stayed away from breakfast because throughout last week I wasn't really diligent with my breakfast. Sometimes I had my breakfast at about 5.
Yeah.
Sometimes 2 o'clock. But I never had breakfast till 2 or thereabouts.
Yeah.
And Tano, believe you me, the last one I did was on a Saturday. And I told myself, babe, you're not doing that again.
Okay.
Because the ulcer came up. Inside the vehicle, I was inside the vehicle. I held my tummy. You see, I wanted to faint. If a grown person like me would have that, then what about children? What about children?
It's terrible. I pity homes that have more than 4 children.
To feed.
You know, and when the children, when you ask them,
And their wives are still
funny
pregnant.
funny enough, the kids don't even care. You know, they'll
You know,
tell
kids
I
can
want to-
play
Yes.
and play and play and forget that they haven't eaten.
Yes.
But when that hunger sets,
When the hunger comes, they tell I want to eat bread. I mean, when 1 month ago, bread is about 1,000 naira.
oh
You
no.
know, I want Indomie, Belefu,
Indomie belefu.
you know, and that goes to about 600 naira. And you have 5 or 6 to contend.
I'm telling you.
You know?
A loaf of bread is no longer enough for an average family of 5.
No.
It's not.
Can't even put it. About 3. 1,515. That's about 4,005 only for your bread. You've not talked of probably
Beverages. Please leave egg alone. Leave egg alone. You know, egg has gone up now. It was read on the news this morning. Egg has actually gone up. Like, what is happening? And farmers are complaining. People are complaining. Egg is supposed to be protein in our meal.
On a daily
The children,
basis.
the children need egg. They need it every day. But now, we cannot even buy egg anymore. You know, it's so sad that these little things that we should get very, very easy, that the things that are becoming very, very expensive. Look at Gary. Imagine, Gary used to be very, very cheap. And when you eat Gary morning, noon, and night, people laugh at you. They insult you that you're poor. And that's poverty mentality. Because you're always eating Gary. But now, Gary is one of the richest man's food.
Yes.
If you cannot, if you eat Gary, people will clap for you. Do you know? Gary is one of the richest. So people no longer hide again to eat Gary. Look at egg. Eggs is just, you know, egg is something that should be
50 naira.
50 naira. It should be very free. It should be as cheap as anything.
But
egg is more expensive than a loaf of bread.
Before it got to 50 naira, it used to be 350 naira.
Yeah, that was
No,
But
when,
you know,
how
but
long?
you know the annoying.
How long? Less than 2 years ago.
That's it now. That's what I'm saying now. That it has gone. But you know the most annoying thing. They separate it. They tell you the big ones go for 7,000 naira per crate. The small ones go for 5,500. Medium one go for 6,000. But it's the same fertilizer you use for both eggs.
The same yolk.
The same everything is same. It's just that it's just luck. It's luck. The chick brought out a bigger one or a smaller one. So it's not our fault. So why separate them? Instead of separating them, why not mix it? You know, so this person takes small, big, medium, just mix it. But you separate it, you give the small ones this price, the big ones this price. That's greed though, I would say, because there's no difference. You're not using any different means or pattern to bring out the big ones. It's the same thing, the same fowl. One hen can lay 5 eggs. 2 among the 5 eggs might be big, 3 will be small, and then you separate it. Why are you separating it? What justification do you have to separate that egg?
That is separating the children.
Separating the children.
Yes, from each other. The ones who are intelligent and the ones
And the ones that are not intelligent. Yeah. Maybe the big eggs are the ones that are intelligent. Why the small eggs are not intelligent?
Yeah, so away from that, we just pray that, God really intervenes. I was speaking with a friend of mine over the weekend, and he was like, can we ever come out of this quagmire, this economic quagmire that we found ourselves? That Mr. President started on a very bad note. That if not for the fuel subsidy, we wouldn't be where we are today. That the fuel subsidy actually robs in on every aspect.
That was when this whole thing started. That fuel subsidy. That was when the whole thing started.
On every sector.
Yes.
Of the economy.
That's true.
As a tailor, as a barber, as a transporter,
everything, marketer, everything. A
farmer, because before you move your goods from point A to point B, you have to go through transport. And when the transporter tells you, this is my fare, naturally, it robs it. Because if you go to purchase, and the transporter takes his own pound of flesh, you too, who is the final seller, you would also want to say, it costs me XYZ to move it from point A to point B. So naturally, even the tailor, the tailor, my tailor was telling me that because of fuel, that it doesn't what I used to sew in April or May, that it is now, and that even by December, it's going to be a rush. And I begin to ask, okay, tailor, has the government increased my salary? You hear that, there's minimum wage. So everybody is looking out for where you go have your own pound of flesh. Has it been effective? No. You understand? So I don't know what the government is actually doing to give us some breath, so that at least we can breathe. We no longer sleep or do not again. By 4 o'clock we're already awake, because either something strikes you to wake up, go to ease yourself, and when you come back you continue to start thinking of how you are going to run the whole
daily bread for that day, how it's going to come.
And once you begin to think through all of these situations, you can't go back to sleep again.
That's true. That's true.
So,
for the young ones that are not married, or they just got married and have no kids, please bear the ones you can take care of.
Don't give birth to more than
Don't give birth to more than
one.
More than one. Tano, what's that? Why would you say more than one?
No, one is okay.
This one is not okay. At least 3.
No,
yes, now.
Okay.
2, 3. But please give birth to the ones you can take care of. That's just it. If you know your capability, you look at your pockets.
When you say 2, 3,
yes,
you should put a lot of factors into consideration.
Like,
in our days, as children growing up, our parents used cloth to prepare us. When you poo-pooed or wash the cloth and all of that. But modern day children, how much you have thrown? You have to quantify that financially.
Okay.
Eh? One
Okay.
poo and you I need to make a poo like 4 times a day. So you poo for you throw away money like that. Hmm?
Oh my word.
No, because that's my concern. If the papas,
Darkness.
if papas then they will now go to private school.
Mm.
You understand? Because of
Mm.
competition, you see your friends' children are in XYZ private school. You
Mm.
two want to meet up. You know, so 2 children is okay. It's okay. We could just turn the hands of time.
Okay.
You know, because even when they begin to get older, you see, begin to see this one with his own attendant problem.
Mm.
This was shouting on this one. This one say, "Why are you touching me?" This was, oh God, oh,
Okay.
you know. So we make
All
do
right.
with
So
what we have.
yeah.
So when you see the another point that's trending now, it's the minimum wage. Yes, we no longer having a flat
Rate.
rate.
Yes, every state is beginning to say
I don't
what
understand.
they can pay. But it's not bad. The federal government has put
A benchmark.
a benchmark. So you're not to go below that benchmark. I think that's what it is. That's why some states are coming up, okay, this is what I'll pay and that's what I'll pay. So I give it to them. Yes, the federal government have said this, then the state would want to, they want to also help their citizens, you know, by adding something on top. So I think I like the idea.
But it's not regular, it's not flat. You know, some people receive more than the others. Some states.
It's their luck.
Uh,
Yes, you want to go to that state?
I wish I could go to Lagos
Oh, you want to go to Lagos,
or Port
so you can
Harcourt
receive
or
85,000.
River State,
Okay.
where I could receive 85,000 as
Mm.
minimum,
Well,
which
sorry,
is
yeah,
which
yeah.
is which is not bad for the economy.
Yeah, it's not
You
bad,
know.
but our state too is not bad.
Mm.
Delta is not bad. You know why? Because you see, Delta, the government have been doing so many programs, you know, to alleviate the sufferings, especially for the youth. We have so many programs that have been coming up, so many starter packs. These are money that, you know, is still going back to the society. So I
That's
think
correct. That's correct.
I think there's a balance somewhere there.
Okay. Well, I'm not disputing that because we are speaking of the Apple government now.
Mm.
I call you spokesperson of the government.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
but I still feel that as an oil producing state,
States.
you know, we should be on top of the game.
Okay.
You know, alongside
Mm.
states like Lagos, Port Harcourt, you know, River State, and
All these states you're calling, how many of them organize programs for their youth? How many?
but don't compare Lagos State with Delta State. Don't just go there for.
Lagos is
Don't
large
just
now.
go there. You see what Lagos is.
Mm.
You understand? That's why they go by their population. They go for sure.
Mm.
That's a good imagine. Lagos will never
Never be bad. And
You
it's working for
understand?
them.
And
Oh.
it's working for
See?
them. You understand? Yeah. So I always tell even my little kids, I say, but look, don't just look at Delta. Because Delta could just be where you study. But it's either it's Lagos, Port Harcourt, in Abuja, not in Delta.
Okay.
So,
All right.
and that's the blunt truth.
Yeah, that's the black
I
truth for
want to say
you.
it to everybody.
Okay. Okay, so moving away from that, there's this sad story we got from Lagos. Police inspector hangs self in Lagos. Now you're saying that Lagos is this, Lagos is that. There are still some parts of Lagos that when they frustrate you, you will not know what hits you. Yes, there is. Have you talked about the traffic in Lagos? It is alarming. I personally cannot deal with such traffic because I don't like stress, too much stress, and it's not good.
You see
Now,
why
let's
we're
say this
experiencing
story.
that? Why we're experiencing that is because Lagos is the center. Do you understand? All the local governments are in Lagos. All the local governments that the places that make up, the local governments, they are in a crew that's in Lagos there.
Yeah.
Not like Delta where you have Oshimili here. The Warri North is thousands of kilometers away. Do you understand? In 10 minutes, you are moving from Songo into Abulegba, into Egbeda, into
so that's why it's
Keja.
choked.
You know, and so that's why it's choked. You understand? But thank God for the railway line that Sanwo-Olu is working on. So you can even say, okay, I'm working on the island. You can come from Songo on the railway line straight. You don't need to drive your car. Do you understand? In Lagos, you don't need to drive your car. You could just even park your vehicle somewhere and begin to shuttle. You know, like that. You know, so for the transport, yeah, okay, well, they are improving now. There are U-Bars everywhere. There's a BRT also there. You know, where you can. It's okay. I want to go with BRT. Just go straight on. It is where you have people stopping from one.
That BRT is very comfortable. I applied it when I visited Lagos. It was really comfortable.
Very, very comfortable.
Yes.
It's only for those of us who are Talakas, who stay, you know, inside the interior. You want to move from Jisha to the next bus stop. You know, so that's where you experience, because if the buses or whatsoever means must stop to alight and pick. You know.
Yeah.
So the policeman found himself.
Oh yes. We really do not know what transpired, but according to his son, he said the father sent him out to get something, and when he returned, he called his father, but there was no response, and that was when it occurred to him that the father has actually hung himself. Police inspector attached to OPG head office in Ikeja, Lagos, has reportedly taken his life. An exclusive report said a security focus portal said the inspector, whose name it did not disclose, hanged himself on Friday, October 18 at his residence located at Ishewaju CDA off Eri Road, Isiwu, in the Ikorodu area of the state. Now, the portal quoted an unnamed dependable source as disclosing that the son of the late inspector reported the death of his father at Imota Police Station in Ikorodu at about 2 p.m. of that same Friday. Now, the son was said to have informed the police that his later father sent him out on an errand, and as he returned, he saw his father hanging on a ceiling fan. He was said to have called his father, but his father did not respond, and it dawned on him that his father has committed suicide. But the body has been taken for autopsy to know exactly what the cause might have been. You see a man hanging, what are you going for autopsy for again? That's just it. You know.
Well, but they have to investigate at least critically to be sure that
he actually committed.
Yeah, he actually committed suicide. You know, because of these boys nowadays, they are very dangerous. There was one guy they asked between the father and the mother or the siblings. If somebody says, go and bring one person who will be, that will be my father. I said, it won't be tiny child.
I said, it won't be tiny child.
It does so.
Our children will not use us, please.
You have to be careful with these young boys of nowadays.
That's why they are always been apprehended. Yeah, so we have to commend the police. They have been apprehending so many of them, and it's a good thing. Sometimes you see so many young guys, you see like 30, you see like 15 paraded. I don't get. And these are very young boys. You see a boy of 13 years, 12 years. What are you doing with money?
No, they're in a hurry.
What are you doing with money?
They're in a hurry.
They're in a hurry.
They're in a hurry. You know why you don't blame them? Because of modern day technology.
Even their parents don't even raise an eyebrow.
No, because their parents don't even know.
No, don't say that. Some of them, they know. Okay, some parents know.
They say it in presence of their children.
Some parents know. Now, I'll give you an insight. There was a video I came across. The woman was dancing and the boy was spraying the woman. If you see the floor filled with money. And this boy is so young. When I mean so young, physically you know that this is a very young boy that should be in school. Do you get? And he was spraying the money and the woman was dancing. Did you ask yourself, or your son, where did you get this money from? You're not working.
But do you know that?
Where did you get this money from? It's not a skit. It was real. You know, when these boys do these things, they blow it out of proportion. That's why some of these young ones that are coming up, they want to live up to, they see these other guys as their mentor. You know, when a grown person comes that does this same cybercrime business, when he buys clothes, buys this, buys that, you know, you see these young ones that do not have someone to direct them, that are already on the falling path. They see these people as their mentor, and they want they will tell your bros, I want to be like you. I want to be like you. Show me the way. Go to these places they call HQ, is it HK or whatever, and see young boys living there. There was one that DSP Bright Edafe busted around there. I think that's in Ughelli. So when they finish, they come back to the house. Their parents and they buy cars, and their parents will not ask, where did you get this car from? And they influence young girls. That's why you see young girls these days, they don't want to work. You call a girl and tell the girl, come and be my sales girl, I'll pay you this amount. She will tell you, I cannot. Why? Because there is a boy funding her expensive lifestyle. You see a very young girl who has not even entered school. She's wearing a bone straight hair that is about 500,000. She's holding an iPhone Pro Max that is about 600,000. And when you ask them, they tell you, my boyfriend gave it to me. What does your boyfriend do to give you a little girl such amount of money? So I think parents should actually wake up. I think they should wake up. You see your daughter coming with such hair, such phone, and you're praising your daughter, and you're happy about it. And then you will be forced to quickly give your daughter out in marriage. There was one I saw, very young girl. The boy had already given her ₦1 million to open a shop. A very young boy. And then the next thing, he's talking marriage. What do you really understand about marriage? You think marriage is because you just have money, then you run into it? It's a whole is way bigger than that.
That's cool.
You this boy proposed to the girl, and the next thing the parents accepted, and they got married. Even the father was saying he's entitled to this, he's entitled to that. Did you see the boy you're giving your daughter out in marriage to, and you're telling the boy you're entitled, the boy has to pay you this, pay you that, and all sort of thing. Tomorrow when the marriage crashes, or tomorrow when the girl dies, the boy uses the girl, you come out and cry. What are you crying for? You pushed her into that marriage. So I will blame our parents partly for this kind of lifestyle that our children are living. I will.
Well, I think that's the moral, to be learned at the end of the day. So the story before we go to our next school, over the weekend, one of Nigeria's best, the prayer warrior president of Nigeria, celebrated his 90th birthday, and it was a fanfare. I call him the prayer warrior because he's a thorough Christian now, by way of what he's been doing. Nigeria Praise. He's been doing that program for many years now. General Yakubu Gowon, the man who had Go On With One Nigeria. That was his name, Go On With One Nigeria. He was celebrated, and I was excited because I was such a young kid when he was president. Even though I wasn't too, but at least I knew that I could join my words then to know that Gowon was my military head of state in primary school. So he was celebrated over a week-long activity, actually, that culminated into a banquet yesterday at State House. And I said, this is how a leader should be celebrated.
Yes.
Most especially if you do so well. Because during his time, Nigeria didn't have a problem of money. It was how to spend the money. Where to spend the money.
Yes.
So if me, who was a young boy, as of 1981, vehicles were being sold, dear rubber vehicles were being sold for 5,000, 6,000. You know, then you can imagine how the country was. You know, so that tells you that our leaders got to that point and the politicians came in. Because as far as I'm concerned, the politicians are our problems. This country.
Yes.
You know, it gets the worst military administration is better than the civilian rule.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm telling you, because you see, the military were orderly. Order is order, according to the military. They were orderly. And a military governor must not come from your state. You understand? So he has not come to empower himself. You know, but to me, sincere, you know, the military governors or the military people did so well. See, that's in there. General Yakubu Gowon ruled Nigeria within 1966 to 1975. You know, he started ruling at the age of 36. Also, he was a bachelor, even as of when he got into that position. It was while he was there that he got married to Victoria. You know, and he thought that Victoria was by his side. All true. A great gentleman, a fine gentleman, a general, you know, of high repute. You know, there's one man I've always fallen in love with because he's such a gentleman.
Okay.
A Christian, you know, to the core. You know, so he's 90, and we pray that God should spare him, you know, so that he lives long. You know, when you see gentlemen like this, you know, they were very thorough.
Yeah, well, I came to this world to hear about it. I wasn't born then. I wasn't even. I don't think they haven't even thought of conceiving me tomorrow. Okay, so that's it. Happy birthday to him.
Yes, happy
And they
birthday
were
to
wishing him more fruitful years ahead.
The good leaders stay older. Obasanjo is still like that. Witty, old bar.
All right, so away from that, the federal government has been urged to swiftly, you talked about transport earlier, so I wanted to say something about that. The federal government has been urged to swiftly adopt safer transportation methods for petroleum products to minimize accidents involving tankers across the country. The National Coordinator of Muslim Media Watch Group of Nigeria, Alhaji Ibrahim Abdullahi, and the National Secretary, Dr. Nasir Balugu, in a statement, expressed concern over the dangerous movement of petroleum tankers without supervision following the recent incident in Jigawa State. The group sympathized with the people and the state government, calling for an immediate halt to the apparent lapses to save lives. I think the best way to transport petroleum products these days is through sea. That's what I feel. Through sea.
The safest.
Yes, the safest is through sea.
Not by road.
No, not by road. Because any collision at all, lives are gone. Buildings are raised down.
But do you know why? It's because of the greed of man. But let me tell you why I said so. You see, if these trailers fall off, right? They don't just burst into flame like that.
Okay, people go to school.
You understand?
To scoop.
People say human beings in their usual character. This is my gold mine. Forgetting that, there lies danger ahead of you.
Okay.
And my little boys and I were actually analyzing all of this. And the youngest said, "Look, we just a strike from the ground."
Just a strike, yes.
From the ground by way of scooping, it can ignite fire. And that was what transpired because when they took critical analysis, you know, on how we've experienced that in the country, especially in the last 10 years, most of these incidents by way of loss of life is as a result of greed, scooping. They go scoop. If not, if the trailer had fallen on the road, either because it's bad roads, Because most of the times, children can just follow me only if the road were to be good. For crying out loud. There could be potholes around that area that could just kill it up. And it passes. Nigeria should learn to leave such things as they are and call for help through the fire service. You understand? To be on standby. Paraventure, there is a fire outbreak. You understand? But instead they say, no, now that fuel is expensive, let's go and scoop so that we will sell at black markets. Do you understand? Because that's their intention, not to use it for themselves. Because you will find out that most of them might not even have generators. But they want to scoop it into jerry cans and stay by the roadside and start selling to people who are flying the road.
But you cannot take it away from them, because even if you sensitize them that this thing is dangerous, you see some persons, they still want to do that. So I think the safest way, I just feel the safest way, since they don't want to listen, then let's take it away from them.
Because how many states have water connected?
That's another thing.
That's the question you ask. How many states have water connected them by way of port? Not all the 36 states have it. And these products are products that must be used.
And I feel every tanker should have a policeman or somebody, of course, to go with the tanker. So that when such things happen.
It boils down, because there's no form of security that will stop the average greed of the human nature. Like I told you, just greed. You understand? One lesson should be enough to learn. This is not the first time that we've had a colossal amount of people like that have died and are still dying. You'll be surprised that the death toll will run up to 200 by today. You understand? It's because of their greed. Because if the tanker will not just fall and explode on its own.
But sometimes it does.
No. It will just bring fire from nowhere.
Yes, like the heat on the ground. It could explode.
But this one is as a result of from very, very reliable sources.
Okay.
It's as a result of scooping.
Okay. So please, we have to be very careful. If you see a tanker going down, please, all you have to do is run as far as you can
Where
from
your
that
leg can
vicinity.
take you to.
Run away from that
Don't
vicinity.
even look back.
Yes, it's really, really dangerous. Let's help ourselves. We mustn't call on the government to help you. These are something that you can do for yourself. So you don't need anybody. You don't even need sensitization, because common sense should tell you that this thing is dangerous. If anything happens, you're going down for it. So if you see situations like that, instead of trying to bring out the greedy nature in you, please bring out the protective nature in you and protect yourself, protect your family. Even if it's in front of your shop or your house, take your children, leave that vicinity until that mess is cleared completely. You don't have any business being around there. So please save yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's quickly look at our national celebration.
It's International Day.
Yes, our national day. We have the National Apple Day. I'm just going to read them. Yes, National Apple Day for the lovers of Apple. Today is your day. So today is National Apple Day. We also have another celebration. Okay, Back to the Future Day. Okay, Back to the Future. Celebration of the Mind Day. It says, gear up for a day full of logic, learning, and function, even with members involved. That's celebration of the Mind Day. We also have another celebration, Day of the Races. It says Day of the Race is a significant holiday despite some resistance in the indigenous community. That's for those that are raising. All right, we have another one, Global Iodine Deficiency Disorders Prevention Day. The day raises awareness about the importance of iodine and the disorders it prevents. You can read up further. We also have the Heroes and Forefathers Day. Heroes and Forefathers Day. Celebrate the heroes in your life and also your forefathers, those that they left a good legacy for you. You have to honor them. Today is their day. We have the National Archives Day. It says take a look at the historical records as well as the preservation of such important information. And this goes to the librarians. They are the ones that keep this archive for us. You know, you can always go to the library and you meet a librarian and tell the person, I want this book, I want a book on this story or this particular topic. They have the archives, they already know where they kept it. That's why we have classification and cataloging in library. So you just go there and they tell you I think just the alphabet, they can get that book for you. So they are the people that keep archives very well. So it's very important that you take a look at that historical records. We also have the National Check Your Meds Day. National Check Your Meds Day. It's a rare chance for consumers to get free medical advice. Have you been taking drugs irregularly? Have you been self-prescribing drugs for yourself? You have migraine and you rush to take one painkiller or the other. You have stomach ache and you rush to take one painkiller. It's time to see your doctor to get advice on medical pills. Alright, we have the National Pets for Veterans Day. And it all started with a dog. Okay, those are for the lovers of pets. It's your day today. Okay, we have the National Pumpkin Cheesecake Day. Pumpkin cheesecake is yet another way to win anybody's heart. Well, it's not really our thing here, but it's a thing for the Western world. So, alright, we have the National Reptile Day. National Reptile Day. I tell you, we celebrate virtually everything. Now we're celebrating reptiles. And how, in fact, they're so dangerous, but we have to celebrate them. Yes, so we have the Police Commemoration Day. It says, let us all come together to raise our hands and salute those who have served. You have any police person around you, policeman, a policewoman around you, go and celebrate them today. It's not easy, at least standing on the road under the hot sun, you know, and chasing evil people away, going in gun battles with evil men. We still have to celebrate them no matter what. I know some persons will be having some negative thoughts in their mind. Please do this, please do that. Yes, I understand, but at least for the mere fact that they stand on the road, the mere fact that they still chase robbers here and there, kidnappers, and beautiful, they have been fishing out so many kidnappers these days. We see the reports, you know, so let's give it to them. Let's give it to them. We cannot crucify them entirely. They're actually doing very well. Then, like I said, the Reptile Awareness Day, the Godzilla reptile, the gecko, those two lizards that always hang out around your back porch. The gecko, people call it wall gecko right here, but outside they call it gecko. You understand? So we're celebrating them, even though I don't like those reptiles, but we have to celebrate them. Yes, and so that's all our national celebration this morning, the 21st day in the month of October. That's all we are celebrating nationwide. So go out there and celebrate those that you ought to celebrate.
Yeah, that's a good one. Celebrating reptiles. Well, for me, I think there are all days that have been set aside, but not certified by the United Nations. You know, there are two things. One is to set aside. Another is to certify. You know, like World Food Day, which is certified. World AIDS Day, which is certified. Diabetes, but not World Reptile Days. They are just
national recognition that they exist.
That they exist. For this today, I think the World Police Day. Saluted the Nigerian police. I think I'll give it to two people. SP Bright,
Daffy.
And the retiring SP Ukadige, another great personality. He's also a lawyer and is retiring in a few days from now. From the Nigerian police force, Ukadige will find superior superintendent. So we'll give it to them, salute them.
Yes.
You know.
And every other good policeman out there.
Yeah,
good.
We have the police officer, fine gentlemen, police officers, gentlemen.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll take a break now as we speak. The prayer session of DBS Asaba is currently on, and it's a new innovation which is novel. been told that it's every Monday morning from 8 a.m. So feel very free. You can just drive in, share with us the word of God. And you'll be glad to do it. We'll take a break. We'll come back. More on the ride on this edition of Prayer.
What happens when greed meets desperation?
Yeah.
How far would you go to get what you want?
Even my life is even on the line. So please, help me so that we can get out of this. Or how could you do this to me?
A gripping movie inspired by a true life story.
Maybe you could consider other options.
You think I've not done that?
Experience the twist, the betrayal, and the thrill that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Get ready for the movie. The Inside Enemy. The Inside Enemy dropping on Delta TV YouTube channel on November 1 at 9 p.m. prompt. Don't miss it.
Efe, you see, maintaining peace and security in Delta State remains a priority for the Governor Sheriff Oberewori-led administration.
It's clear for everyone to see that the Governor Sheriff-led administration is focused on promoting the well-being of all Deltans. Did you know that the Delta State Contributory Health Insurance Scheme currently caters to over 1,995,816 enrollees?
My God, no wonder Dr. Ifeanyi Oswaza is said that Governor Sheriff is staying committed to delivering the more agenda to Deltans.
Yes, you can say that again. Are you aware that Governor Sheriff Oberewori's administration has also taken significant steps to ease land acquisition as a strategy to mitigate Nigerians' housing deficits?
Governor Sheriff, very impressive. He's not just focusing on one area, maybe just health or peace and security. Is making sure that all areas experience the more agenda. Even when the Osun State Governor, Senator Ademola Adeleke, inaugurated the completed Okpanami-Busa bypass, he said he was particularly impressed with the performances of Governor Oberewori in 1 year of his administration.
Of course, it is clear now that the Governor Sheriff infrastructural development is creating an enabling environment for businesses to thrive. Ahead of a lady by the name Doris Uzo, who relocated her business to the bypass area, and she's doing very well.
Talking about the bypass, Governor Sheriff did a very good one there. The 5.3 kilometer road
and 10.6 kilometer length of drain.
Yes. Coming from Warri now, I didn't need to drive through those distance Coca area. I just took this shortcut, you know.
Hey, you know what burn your friend now? I know you. You get money, but you know what spend that.
Governor Sheriff don't do road. Make I still waste. Don't be your fault. Now Sheriff will do road for you. You don't see how now. Governor Sheriff putting smiles on the faces of Deltans.
So we are very happy because our governor is working so hard.
New Sheriff in town. He's doing very, very well in Delta State.
Brought to you by Delta State Ministry of Information.
That first news, that first kick, that first cry, and those first moments put baby to mother's breast right away. That first yellowish milk, colostrum, has the nutrients baby needs to grow healthy, strong, and sharp. Ask your health worker to put your baby to the breast within the first hour.
Start strong. Zero water exclusive breastfeeding for better future.
This message is from the Delta State Committee on Food and Nutrition and the Delta State Ministry of Information.
My people, una know say to chop plenty fruit and vegetable every time dey help person live long?
You no go fit see anything when they give good nutrition when boku pass fruit and vegetable. Fruits and vegetables get plenty vitamins like vitamin A, B, C and E, and other minerals like magnesium, zinc, phosphorus, potassium, and folic acid. You see, food when contain vegetables and fruit, they help lower blood pressure, reduce the risk of heart disease and stroke, prevent some kind cancer, help lower cholesterol level and blood pressure, remove yamayama from your system, protect you from digestion wahala and high problem, come make your skin dey shine muke muke. E good to eat fruits and vegetables every day. And if you even get blender, you fit blend different fruit when you like together to make sweet drink when oyibo dey call smoothie. Now the Delta State Committee of Food and Nutrition and Delta State Ministry of Information now bring una this message.
To look at the papers and see what is trendy in the country.
Yeah, it's I'm sure we'll have quite a lot going.
Sure, we have.
We'll have quite a lot going. So you can.
All right, we'll begin with the Vanguard newspaper this morning. It says FG's zero duty food import policy faces fresh hurdles. The writer says custom agents hint at confusion among implementation agencies. Inflation exchange rates defeat policy objectives, and this is accredited to analysts. All right, we have Go 1 at 90. Obi replies critics, says Nigeria needs love, forgiveness to move on. CSO's kick as police arrest disperse NSAS memorial protesters. And then we have scores killed in Anambra Rivers, court clashes. The writer says 4 killed, including policeman in a door attack. DSS replaces Tinubu CSO Fasasi with Rashid Lawal, and that's on page 13. We also have a picture there, a photo speak there of the hashtag NSAS protesters arrested in Lagos. NAS proposes reintroduction of 5% excise duty on telecom betting services. Serap to Tinubu, stop weaponizing security agencies against Nigerians. And that's on page 10.
Okay. Now we're done with the Vanguard, we'll take the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian newspaper has as its screaming headline, federal government budget in logjam as multiple appropriations seek attention. That's the major story there. 4 years after Amnesty International sounds alarm over continued police abuses. All right, still on the paper, only urgent National Executive Council will avert implosion. PDP official members warn. Security heightens over IPOB sit-at-home order. And we'll take this very last story. How Buhari reversed Nigeria's 16-year economic gains by World Bank. All right, that's it on the Guardian newspaper.
The Punch newspaper is next. Grid collapses 105 times in 10 years despite $1.4 billion loans. Rather says Government fails to access additional $2.96 billion World Bank approved electricity infrastructure loans. And also, Buhari records 93 grid collapses, Tinubu 12 incessant grid collapses, worries NEC and consumers. Petrol marketers import 123 million liters, continue talks with Dangote. That's on page 25. Current insecurity worse than during my government, says Obasanjo. Army debunks COAS death rumors, retires 15 generals. Canada-based nurse, 2 businessmen nabbed for drug trafficking. Foreign investors dumped 355 billion naira stocks over forex crisis. And that's it on the Punch newspaper.
All right, the Daily Trust is a newspaper for review. The Daily Trust. It has below the masthead, Lagbaja not dead, says Army. Legal battle over electricity tariff hike not over. That statement is credited to the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN. 10 killed in Anambra cult clash. And below that, on CNG, commercial drivers orders task government on infrastructure, refueling stations. The rider decries high conversion costs and petrol filling stations should be made to install gas facilities. Okay, the photos speak there, the rearrest, or rather arrest of the NSAS protesters who are about to celebrate the second year. And they are being modeled into the state actual post now. And below that, police arrests are released. Okay, NSAS memorial protesters. That's it on the Daily Trust.
The Nation has on the screaming story, federal government, no room for secession by any ethnic group. Writer says, living together, an obligation, not optional. And this credited to Minister. We will end header-farmer clashes. CBN extends suspension of cash deposit fees. IG orders manhunt for killers of 3 policemen in Lagos and Edo State. We have DSS replaces Tinubu's CSO. Police free #EndSARS protesters in Lagos. And on the Ondo 2024, we have Ganduje APC will take over all Southwest states. I'll deliver on my promises, vows APC's standard bearer. NNPP candidate unveils 7-point agenda, and AAC will not mismanage state resources, says candidates. You can get details on page 31 on the Nation newspaper.
Okay, the Tribune is our newspaper for review. The Nigerian Tribune is our newspaper for review. It has above the masthead, local government financial autonomy. Eyes on federal government to enforce Supreme Court judgment. That's on page 10. African leaders tap Moghain to head African School of Governance. And the close ranks to win Ondo governorship election. Ganduje charges aggrieved aspirants. And below the masthead, 60 months of decline. Critical market indicators defy federal government, World Bank's reform optimism. And below that, photo speak, our federal government delayed disbursement of $314 million food production facility and how it affected food security. As food import bill hits 5-year high of 1.5 trillion naira in first quarter of 2024 and 7.8 trillion naira spent in 5 years. All right, I will take this other story that says PDP pressure mounts on Damagum. to allow scheduled NEC meeting. And constitutional breach must be avoided. That's the National Working Committee member postulating that. And the bottom strip, quickly, with Oyebamji, PDP can take their party. Statement is credited to Farios. All right, that's it on the Tribune this morning. Pick up a copy.
Right on the New Telegraph. The New Telegraph has it on the screen story on LG financial autonomy. Anti-corruption agencies to deploy tracking system. This is credited to sources. And details on page 2. The writer says as FG seeks grassroots development to reduce rural-urban migration, contain insecurity, create jobs, amongst others. Shettima to represent Tinubu at CHOGM 2024. That's on page 6. We also have Akpabio admits economic malice, assures Tinubu government will guarantee better future. Bode Judge urges Kekere Ekun to end judicial rascality. And that's on page 3, 14 and 16. On revenue, FG's collection cost up 83.7% to 698.75 billion naira. Also, report says Dangote Refinery now produces 2/3 of Nigeria's jet fuel. According to study, caffeine in blood might affect body fat and also diabetes risk. And finally, we have U.S. poll, Musk to give away $1 million per day to Pennsylvania voters. And that's on page 6.
All right, the Daily Independent is a nurse port of call, and above the master, the local government police insist no sit at home, assures citizens of security. As Enugu State, end SARS anniversary, police release detained protesters, and below that, auto experts doubt success of federal government's CNG vehicle conversion initiative. And the writer says initiative lacks proper planning, safety, and is questionable. We also have facilities, spare parts, expertise, processes may be compromised. Standards Organization of Nigeria lacks capacity. These are what the auto experts are saying as they doubt how successful the CNG vehicle conversion will be. But why don't we give it a try before we start giving in? Okay? Sarah urges Tinubu to stop using DSS proxies to suppress voices. All right? I think that's the best we can take there. We'll take the very last one that comes more like a bottom strip, and it simply reads, NRC appoints Ben Ilenesi as acting managing director. That is the Nigerian Railway Corporation. There's a change of guard, of Brady. Okay, they have a new acting MD now.
Yeah. Okay, we have the Daily Times. Lastly, we have the Daily Times paper. Why we reject FG's IPPRS, GIFMRS, insist on UTAS, and that's credited to ASU. The writer says finances of universities should be managed by their governing councils. You can grab a copy, details on page 2. On World Bank, only 4.1% of Nigerian workers will benefit from minimum wage increase. That's on page 14. Page 4, PPP can solve infrastructure challenges in power and others. Accredited to ICRC bus. African leaders tap Moghalu to head African School of Governance. 4 years after #EndSARS protests, human rights abuses by police still rampant, and this is credited to Amnesty International. NITCOM to host 7th Nigeria Diaspora Investment Summit in Abuja, November 5 to 7.
And then we have here, I was 25% deaf without knowing it, and that's credited to Obasanjo. Yeah, that's all we have on the Daily Times this morning.
All right, that's it. And that's where we'll drop the review this morning on what the papers are actually saying. So we just implore you, go there, pick up a copy, and you might just pick up 2 or 3 of the papers, or better still, you can pick up one of the copies and peruse through for a better understanding and enlightenment. We'll take a break, and we'll come back to the yet another spot on Morning Ride, Wonders Edition. Stay with us.
Governor Sheriff, they give us more better things for Delta.
That's why, so na truth.
Na truth, oh. This Ugeli why they stay so. Yes. Governor Sheriff, they do roads.
That's why, yeah.
He not only they do roads, so they also do drainages to make sure say the roads where we go they get for Delta, no go poor. Me and you know say Governor Sheriff, they ready to give Deltas the best.
Yes, in talk now before he enter power.
As me and you dey talk so, Adagbasa road don.
When be Adagbasa?
Adagbasa now, where you take they go dey meet that girl.
Which one?
That girl will say she not go fit marry you.
Okay.
Governor Sheriff don't rehabilitate Adagbasa road. Yes, so.
Okay, let me now.
It's just about 1 year where Governor Sheriff enter power, so him don't start and complete different projects. Some of them he rehabilitate them.
More agenda, of course.
Yes, so.
You see, this thing when Oga Peter dey talk so. Na truth. Just about 1 year in office, Governor Sheriff don complete different projects and he still dey do more. As I dey road dey travel the other day, I see and say Governor Sheriff dey do rehabilitation for High Expressway, a 3-kilometer road. Now, no be only that one. Recently, when I travel go see my friend for Warri South, I come see am say Governor Sheriff him don do rehabilitation overlay of Ejegba community main road down to the roundabout.
Na that one you dey talk. Me, I just dey come from Wariso. When I hear say Governor Sheriff dey do flyover and say na Julius Berger, I say make I go see with my eyes. Seeing is believing. I reach there and so I dey look. I see and say Governor Sheriff dey construct flyover from PTI Junction to DSA roundabout. I say na wow, Governor Sheriff just start. He go start with legacy project so. And he dey in progress so, even as we dey talk so.
More agenda. Governor Sheriff transforming Delta.
This village Ounde, so this road now Wagba village. We thank our governor, Governor Sheriff. We make the road better for us, so we feel they pass the road well now.
Brought to you by Delta State Ministry of Information. Efe, you see, maintaining peace and security in Delta State remains a priority for the Governor Sheriff Oberewori-led administration.
It's clear for everyone to see that the Governor Sheriff-led administration is focused on promoting the well-being of all Deltans. Did you know that the Delta State Contributory Health Insurance Scheme currently caters to over 1,995,816 enrollees?
My God, no wonder Dr. Ifeanyi Oswaza is said that Governor Sheriff is staying committed to delivering the more agenda to Deltans.
Yes, you can say that again. Are you aware that Governor Sheriff Oberewori's administration has also taken significant steps to ease land acquisition as a strategy to mitigate Nigerians' housing deficits?
Governor Sheriff, very impressive. He's not just focusing on one area, maybe just health or peace and security. Is making sure that all areas experience the more agenda. Even when the Osun State Governor, Senator Ademola Adeleke, inaugurated the completed Okpanami-Busa bypass, he said he was particularly impressed with the performances of Governor Oberewori in 1 year of his administration.
Of course, it is clear now that the Governor Sheriff infrastructural development is creating an enabling environment for businesses to thrive. Ahead of a lady by the name Doris Uzo, who relocated her business to the bypass area, and she's doing very well.
Talking about the bypass, Governor Sheriff did a very good one there. The 5.3-kilometer road.
And 10.6 kilometer length of range.
Yes. Coming from Warri now, I didn't need to drive through those distance Coca area. I just took this shortcut, you know.
Hey, you know what burn your fuel now? I know you. You get money, but you know what spend that.
Governor Sheriff don't do road. Make I still waste fuel. Not be your fault. Now Sheriff will do road for you. You don't see how now.
Governor Sheriff putting smiles on the faces of Deltans.
So we are very happy because our government is working so hard.
New Sheriff in town. He's doing very, very well in Delta State.
Brought to you by Delta State Ministry of Information.
What happens when greed meets desperation?
Yeah.
How far would you go to get what you want?
Even my life is even on the line. So please, help me so that we can get out of this all.
How could you do this to me?
A gripping movie inspired by a true life story.
Maybe you could consider other options.
You think I've not done that?
Experience the twist, the betrayal, and the thrill that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Get ready for the movie The Inside Enemy. The Inside Enemy dropping on Delta TV YouTube channel on November 1 at 9 p.m. prompt. Don't miss it.
That first news, that first kick, that first cry, and those first moments put baby to mother's breast right away. That first yellowish milk, colostrum, has the nutrients baby needs to grow healthy, strong, and sharp. Ask your health worker to put your baby to the breast within the first hour.
Start strong. Zero water exclusive breastfeeding for better future.
This message is from the Delta State Committee on Food and Nutrition and the Delta State Ministry of Information. My people, una know say to chop plenty fruit and vegetable every time dey help person live long. You no go fit see anything when they give good nutrition when boku pass fruit and vegetable. Fruits and vegetables get plenty vitamins like vitamin A, B, C, and E, and other minerals like magnesium, zinc, phosphorus, potassium, and folic acid. You see, food when contain vegetables and fruit, they help lower blood pressure, reduce the risk of heart disease and stroke, prevent some kind cancer, help lower cholesterol level and blood pressure, remove yamayama from your system, protect you from digestion wahala and high problem, come make your skin dey shine muke muke. E good to eat fruits and vegetable every day, and if you even get blender, you fit blend different fruit when you like together to make sweet drink when oyibo dey call smoothie. Now the Delta State Committee of Food and Nutrition and Delta State Ministry of Information now bring una this message.
Nigeria is 64. A country with diverse cultural heritage, tongues, traditional beliefs, guided by its unique norms and values, exotic arts and craft, traditional attires, occupation and trade, as well as religious festivals and tribal and body marks. Our country with unique beats and sounds, which characterizes various dance steps, makeup, hair and color choices. She is also a country known all over the world for her different traditional cuisines, agricultural and natural resources. With all these being said, how did she become a nation? What has been her journey so far?
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians old and proud to serve our sovereign fatherland.
Going down memory lane, the history of Nigeria can be traced as settlers trading across the Middle East and Africa as early as 1100 BC. Numerous ancient African civilizations settled in the region, such as the Kingdom of Imre, the Bini, and the Oyo empires. The Songhai Empire also occupied part of the region. From the 15th century, European slave traders arrived the region to purchase enslaved Africans as part of their Atlantic slave trade. The well-known Badagry port was then the first seaport used by the slave traders. Low merchants were the sole providers for those slaves. The act then aroused conflicts among ethnic groups in the region, as it was seen to be disrupting older trade patterns through the trans-Saharan route.
Clouds go gray, thunder roars and the earth sings. The season's just beginning. Sunlight it hides as the clouds make way.
Still on Monday's edition, Morning Ride. It's time to look at our next sport, the interview section, and today we're going to be looking at prevention and management of viral hepatitis. You know that we have been talking about hepatitis, especially viral hepatitis lately, for more than a month. We'll be talking about viral hepatitis. It cannot be overemphasized. But now today we're going to be looking at prevention and management of viral hepatitis in relationships, not just about you, not just about life, but in relationships. And joining me on that conversation this morning is pharmacist Prince O. Okinedu. Good morning, good to have you.
Good morning, and thanks for having me. Good morning, viewers.
Thank you for always coming whenever we call on you, because we have to hit this hepatitis stuff. We have to hit it as far as we can, so that people can actually brace up to go get tested and also know their status. Yes, and it's very important. So now we're going to be looking at this in the relationship aspect. Now, when we talk about prevention and management of viral hepatitis in relationship, how do we go about it?
Okay, thank you very much again, and good morning to our viewers. It's my pleasure to do the viral hepatitis talk again, and we can't really overemphasize it. Really, it's something that we really need to keep talking about. So, but we're going to be looking at an aspect in viral hepatitis which has to do with relationships, whether maybe in courtship or in marriage actually. And so, but just a way of recap, what we said last time about viral hepatitis is that it is a viral infection, okay, or a group of viral infections that affect the liver, okay, and we have hepatitis A, B, C, D, and E. But our major concern are the hepatitis B, C, and D, which are of global public health importance. And Delta State, of course, is part of the global network. Okay, that's why we're talking about hepatitis. And we said Delta State has a prevalent 8% for hepatitis B and 5% for hepatitis C. So if we do that with in relation to Delta State's population, we are looking at not less than 884,000 persons who are living with hepatitis, either B or C or both. And so that's why it's very important that we talk about hepatitis in relationships. Okay, and so we'll be looking at scenarios.
Are you saying that those in relationships are prone or they are at high risk in getting affected?
Everyone is at risk of having of getting infected.
High risk.
But while we're looking at relationships, is there are some misconceptions surrounding viral hepatitis, which we have seen that in some instances resulted in breakups.
Okay.
And that's why we want to really talk about it.
Okay.
Okay. So not that really they are at high risk. Everyone is at risk, really.
Okay.
As long as you have not been vaccinated, you are at risk of contracting hepatitis B or C or D. Okay. So now we'll be looking at scenarios that can present in relationships, and just as we go on, we'll start seeing some of the slides coming up. Okay, number one of the scenarios, is a situation where one of the partners is, or rather, let's start with the first, where both partners are negative. They have screened for hepatitis B and they are negative, or screened for hepatitis C and they are negative, but one of them is vaccinated. Now, in this kind of relationship, if you find yourself in this kind of relationship, it means, one, that first of all, both of them are not at risk of getting hepatitis B or C in the relationship.
That's if one is vaccinated.
Two of them negative.
Okay, two of them negative.
Or one of them is vaccinated.
The risk is low.
So no risk of getting viral hepatitis in the relationship.
Okay.
Because none of them has.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, but they don't live in isolation.
Okay.
They also live in the society. So the one who is not vaccinated is at risk when the person goes out. Because in a situation where the person is exposed to the virus, or any of these viruses, the person can pick up the virus.
Okay.
So in that situation, what we encourage the other one who is not vaccinated to do is to get vaccinated. So in that situation, it means, because the goal is to get everyone vaccinated and then prevent new infections. Okay. So another scenario that can play out is a situation where this time it could be that one of them is positive to hepatitis B, and the other one, so let's even focus on hepatitis B now, because that's the one that has vaccine. Okay, so one of them could be positive for hepatitis B, and the other one negative, but the one who is negative has not been vaccinated. So if you look at this scenario now, it means that the one who is negative is at risk of becoming infected. But what we advise to do in this situation, if anyone finds himself or herself in this situation, it could be the man that is positive, or it could be the woman who is positive. But as long as one of them is positive and the other one is negative but not vaccinated, so which means that the one who is not vaccinated is at risk of contracting the virus. What we advise is that the one who is not vaccinated should just get vaccinated.
Okay.
So once you get vaccinated, it means that the risk has been cut off.
Cut off entirely.
So even if the person is exposed to the virus, the person is not likely to pick up the virus.
Okay, so this one says, husband not at risk, both in marriage and society, wife evaluated for treatment, and both counseled on PMTC.
Exactly. So this is the situation I was talking about. That situation, okay, this one here is that, okay, this is the next situation where this time is the wife that is positive to hepatitis B, right? Then the husband is negative, but this time the husband is vaccinated. So because the husband is vaccinated it means that the husband is not at risk getting it because there's protection now.
Yes, already.
Okay, and so but for the wife will now need to be evaluated for treatment. Now, we are looking at, because in Africa, mother-to-child transmission accounts for at least 90%. Okay, because this time is a woman who is negative, who is positive. So there is high risk of passing the virus to the newborn, to the children. And so she should be evaluated for treatment for herself. And also the PMTCT there talks about prevention of mother-to-child transmission. So when she's pregnant, she needs to be well attended to. During antenatal care, there are things we do to ensure that she does not, to reduce her viral load first, and then when she delivers, the child gets the birth dose vaccine within 24 hours, and then followed up with other form of the vaccine. So that's why it's very important we talk about, now why we're bringing this issue, because we had a situation sometime where there was these two persons, they were intending to get married. One of them was positive, and the other who was negative at that time, was not sure of continuing the relationship, because the first situation was the guy who was negative, the lady was positive. So because of the things he heard about viral hepatitis, that it was a killer, and then someone who is hepatitis B positive cannot get married and all that. So the guy was scared and was not ready to continue with the relationship. But that was because we were able to meet with this person, with the two of them, and we tried to understand their fears. And we realized that they had all knowledge on viral hepatitis. So imagine that scenario. Now, we were able to now educate them that it doesn't matter who is positive or who is negative, but as long as both of them consent to the marriage, the one who is negative should just get vaccinated, and that protects that person. And so that was how they got to know, and then they got married, and they're happily married. So it's very important we get to talk about this. It's just like we have for HIV.
Yes.
You can have children who are negative, even to a positive mother. So there are things you need to do to ensure that happens.
Okay, now I want to ask this question now. In a family, let's say in a relationship, how will someone, or how would a partner know that the other partner is positive to hepatitis? How would the person know?
So the thing again is, that's why we say hepatitis is a silent killer. One will have and will not know. So the only way to know is to encourage people to screen.
Because some persons, they might know that they have hepatitis, but they don't want their partners to find out. In this situation now, this is where trust comes in. Yeah. In this situation, what do you advise the person to do? How will somebody know that, okay, my partner has hepatitis?
So one
doesn't want to tell me.
So first of all, again, we'll now look at why is this person not willing to share this information. Now, that's why there are issues of stigma, discrimination going around. Okay, so we will need to first deal with these issues first. Okay, because first of all, because the thing is, disclosure, medical disclosure, is within the right of the person who has a medical condition, even within families. So that's why in hospital, a doctor will not disclose a medical condition of a wife to the husband without the wife's consent.
Yes.
So again, we now need to deal with issues of stigma and discrimination, and then the right knowledge needs to be passed. Okay, so that when you know, because it's very unfair to be positive and not let your partner know. Because what we do, part of the things we do, we preach a situation where people who are positive should be responsible first to self and to the society. So you have a responsibility. If you have hepatitis B positive, or C positive, you are responsible to yourself, and then you're responsible to protecting others. So that is the best way to do it. So the only way to do it is to let people know that you are positive, and that's the steps you need to take. So especially in a relationship like marriage, or courtship where trust is very important.
Yes.
So it will not be fair that you hide your status and then you willfully, that's willfully spreading the virus to somebody else. So, and again, it's because they feel that there's nothing they can do. It's a helpless situation. So that's why we're talking about this, that if you find yourself in a situation where you have a serodiscordant relationship, that means one is positive, the other is not. All you need to do, the one who's positive should let the other one know, and then get vaccinated, and that solves the problem. Yeah, so they need to know this. And so there's another situation where it could be that two of them could be positive. And so in that situation, which means that, of course, because they are positive, then the vaccine will not come in.
It will not come in, yes. So they have to subject themselves to treatment.
Exactly. They need to be evaluated for treatment. And then for the woman, we'll talk about prevention of mother to child, which is very important. So she needs to be followed up. And that's why what the First Lady did last year was very remarkable, because screening pregnant women early in pregnancy is very key to preventing mother-to-child transmission. So that's why we are also encouraging that pregnant women, once you are pregnant and you are attending antenatal care, ensure that you get screened. On the first day you are going for your booking, get screened. It's available now. The government is paying for that. So I think many persons are not aware of this, but this is the situation. Go once you are positive, okay, and a woman going for antenatal, pregnant, you ensure that you get screened on the day of booking, so that, because at 28 weeks, there's something we need to do at that 28 weeks of pregnancy. Okay. So if we don't do these things to reduce viral load, and then the child gets the dose within 24 hours, then that will be a problem. We'll be passing the virus to the newborn. So
again, we need to sensitize the people. We need to hit it on their heads that this thing is, you need to check. You need to go and check your status to be sure that you're negative. And if you're positive, you start treatment as fast as possible. So your advice to people out there about this, especially those in a relationship.
So just to close this discussion, we're talking about it again. My advice is that if you will not know the situation that you are currently in. So it's advised that you screen, get to know your status, and then if you fall in one of these scenarios, then what you need to do, if you are positive, please disclose to your spouse, and then if the spouse is negative, the spouse needs to be vaccinated. And for pregnant women, as you are going for antenatal, please ensure that you screen on the day of your booking, so that if you are positive, earlier you can be identified on time, and the necessary steps will be initiated to prevent your child from becoming positive. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And we have been speaking with pharmacist Prince O. Okinedo, and he's been talking about the prevention management of viral hepatitis in relationship. So please, if your partner is positive to hepatitis B or any form of hepatitis, it's not for you to cancel that marriage or to walk out of that marriage. Just help your partner. If love is truly there, then you would help your partner. All right, thank you so much, pharmacist, for giving us another insight as regards to relationship. Now, those in marriages, relationship, have nothing to fear. Again,
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. We'll go on a very quick break. When we return, it will be time for our next sport. Please stay with us.
Una know say to chop plenty fruit and vegetable every time dey help person live long. You no go fit see anything when they give good nutrition when boku pass fruit and vegetable. Fruits and vegetables get plenty vitamins like vitamin A, B, C and E, and other minerals like magnesium, zinc, phosphorus, potassium, and folic acid. You see, food when contain vegetables and fruit, they help lower blood pressure, reduce the risk of heart disease and stroke, prevent some kind cancer, help lower cholesterol level and blood pressure, remove yamayama from your system, protect you from digestion wahala and high problem, come make your skin dey shine muke muke. E good to eat fruits and vegetable every day. And if you even get blender, you fit blend different fruit when you like together to make sweet drink when oyibo dey call smoothie. Now the Delta State Committee of Food and Nutrition and Delta State Ministry of Information now bring una this message.
What happens when greed meets desperation?
Yeah.
How far would you go to get what you want?
Even my life is even on the line. So please, help me so that we can get out of this. Or how could you do this to me?
A gripping movie inspired by a true life story.
Maybe you could consider other options.
You think I've not done that?
Experience the twist, the betrayal, and the thrill that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Get ready for the movie The Inside Enemy. The Inside Enemy dropping on Delta TV YouTube channel on November 1 at 9 p.m. prompt. Don't miss it.
All right, you welcome back, and in case you're just joining us, it's Morning Ride, Monday's edition, and the ride just keeps getting exciting by each ride. A few minutes ago, when we were looking at the International Day, one actually struck me, and that had to do with the International Day for the Apple. And fortunately for us, we had an NGO who is actually commemorating that day today. And so joining us almost immediately as we celebrate the World Apple Day, I have Mr. Benedict Obasioya, Senior Program Manager, Technusa. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
And on the other end, we have Kazim Omiale, Senior Project Specialist of Technusa. We'd like to welcome you to our studios this morning.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning. Good to have you.
Yeah, and so today is the World Apple Day.
Yeah.
And the apple, to me, growing up as a young child, I eat apple once in a year.
Oh,
You know, before then, and it was only majorly found in places like Lagos. You can't even find them in the south here. It was strictly for the bourgeois, you know, and you can't just get them beans hawked anywhere. Strictly for malls. And today we have an avalanche. You know, as we celebrate the World Apple Day, can you just speak to that conversation?
Okay, so TechnoServe, like I said, TechnoServe is an NGO. We intervene in low-income communities where we have opportunity to encourage enterprising people to come out of poverty. So our logo is also business turn to poverty.
Okay.
And so we are having a project. We've been in Delta State for about 6 years, 5 to 6 years, and So all our projects revolves around bringing people out of poverty. And again, TechnoServe realized that there is a gap between the feeding system, the food security system in the country, but we are focusing basically on nutritious fruits and vegetables.
Okay, so apple is one of them.
Apple is one of them.
Alright. So tell us more about this species called apple. I used to know that there's this species of this apple species that comes in a very small ball, not like this. I think I saw that once in my village. It's very small. It's pinkish, smallish, and has plenty water. The juice is really much. I don't know if you know that kind of apple. So is that nutritious as well? But that apple has gone. I've not seen it in a long while.
Exactly. So what we have currently is this species that is available, and what we are basically looking out for is to ensure that children know about the nutritional value of apple and other fruits, and how they get this into their daily meal. Most usually in this part of the world, we concentrate mostly on taking carbohydrates. But nowadays we realize that the nutritional value of our children are falling, and that's why we're having more sickness, more illness in the hospital, and the women are taking so much of their time to go and take their time to treat the children. So in order to bridge this, what we are trying to do is to ensure that they consume nutrition foods that will reduce the amount of money they spend on hospital bills, and then they grow well in school. They have sound mind. So when a child goes to school, the essence is basically to succeed. But sickness, lack of nutrition also affect the learning in school. So what we do is to come and intervene in this aspect and ensure that we're able to give them the kind of fruits, which apple is one of them, and all the nutritional value of apple. We might not be able to mention them.
That's true.
Actually, it helps in their heart, it helps in their memory system, in terms of blood flow and all that. So what TechnoServe is looking at is, let us see how we can get the children to take more nutritious food, get interested in their education, and then prosper in life.
All right, so quickly, Bennett. I want Bennett to respond. Apples, obviously, from my intro, I believe not to grow in the tropics. And probably that was what I gave my opinion earlier on, that it was strictly reserved for the bourgeois. How true is this?
My project is actually on plastic waste. Kazim will be in the best position to explain that. Then I'm here actually because there's an interlink between why apple doesn't grow in certain part of the world, and it's actually because of climate change. So my own project is actually helping to solve one of the climate change issues that are affecting affecting the growth of apple in places like Nigeria or in Delta States at the moment. This is where this project is about. So he has just mentioned one thing that TechnoServe does, which is in nutrition. So his project is about horticulture, trying to help develop the vegetable and fruit sector in Nigeria, while mine is in plastic waste recycling, recovery and recycling. So I'll answer more questions when it comes to.
Okay, I would like Azib now to respond quickly.
So thanks. In the last 1 year that we started this program, we've been trying to understand why apples and vegetables are not being grown there, and we have to depend on the north or depend on Lagos to get all these fruits, and it's becoming more expensive. So the project that I'm handling is called horticulture, from the word horticulture and food security. So what we are trying to do is to see what are those things that are actually impeding the growth of these fruits and vegetables here in Delta. And one of the things where Bennett comes in, one of the things we discovered in the last 1 year is that because of the problem of climate change, burning of waste, and having our ecological problem, most of these chemicals goes up and then comes down to the soil.
Okay.
And most of these fruits have their early stage in life at the surface level. So once they are unable to survive that, then we can't really produce them here. So that's why in South we go for deep-rooted fruits that goes deep down into the soil to pick the nutrients that we need. So for apples and all other fruits and vegetables, we have to depend on areas where there are less ecological problems. And one of the biggest problems is plastics. When you have plastic that does not decay, it spoils our soil. And so where the project Bennett is comes in is to help us to move away most of these impurities from the soil to allow the farmers to grow fruits like apple in South. Even our tomato, cucumber, vegetables are suffering the same issues. So what TechnoServe has come up and said, okay, what are the best ways that we can assist the smallholder farmer in low-income communities to get the best out of their effort? You know, you see women, the program is working, currently we are working with about 1,000 participants in Delta, and 700 of them are women, and we saw their effort being wasted day in, day out.
Okay.
So the project is now trying to see how we can help them, number one, with good agronomic practices that supports fruits and vegetables, which eventually creates food security for the country. So the climate aspect of it.
I think that's where you can come in. Because it's almost like the waste to wealth.
Yes.
Yes, speak to that component.
Okay, so as he has already mentioned, sometimes you see that you have plastic waste littered everywhere, and even in the farms, there've been cases of people trying to cultivate the soil, and then they see plastics there, and once you see plastics there, it starts affecting the growth of crops or vegetables. So what my own project is doing is actually trying to recover and recycle plastic waste. As he said earlier, we are an international organization, and the project I'm working on is actually funded by the United States International Development Agency for International Development, together with Coca-Cola Foundation. So we are planning to recover 49,000 metric tons of plastic waste from the environment, with initial focus on Lagos and Anambra states. I know that it would also trickle down to other states in due time. So the aim is to recover these plastics and then give it to, we'll have collectors that will recover the plastic and give to aggregators. Aggregators will either bale or crush the plastics and then sell to recyclers. And you see that people are actually making money from collection, aggregation, and then recycling of plastic. So apart from the economic value that the project will bring to people, it will also help to protect pollution, which causes climate change issues, either that the plastic is in the soil and then it affects agricultural activities, or that where we have them at the dump site, it gets burnt in the open, and once it gets burnt in the open, it releases chemicals. One of them is furan, and the other called dioxin. These are harmful chemicals that go into the environment, and then whenever it rains, it brings it down again to the soil. And all this affects agricultural activities.
These chemicals you just talked about now, are they harmful to human also?
Definitely.
Not just to crops?
Yeah, it's also harmful to human.
When you inhale?
When you inhale it, yes. Okay. Actually, furan has been found to be cancerous as well.
Cancerous?
Yes.
Okay. So how have this gathering of the plastic waste, you said you're trying to gather 49,000 metric tons. Yes. Yeah. How has it been for you? What's the success story so far? Have you been able to gather?
Oh yeah, so far we just started our implementation in June, last week of June. And as of our last analysis, we've been able to gather 11,400 tons of plastic waste. The project runs until the end of next year, December 2025. So we are trying to get in more aggregators and also enroll new collectors. And these are actually people that maybe they don't have anything they are doing. So we'll go to them, we'll tell them about plastic waste and how they can make money from it. We train them as well. The aggregators, we are also providing trainings for them. We are giving them equipment to help them process the plastic when they buy from the collectors.
So this plastic waste, is it nylon bag or bottle, water can?
Okay, so both.
Okay,
once it's plastic packaging.
Okay.
Yeah. So we also try some of them. At the moment, I know that in some locations you find out that collectors are not picking certain types of plastics because they don't know who to sell it to. So part of our work is to introduce them to new markets. So we introduce them to aggregators that are actually interested in that. And some aggregators that are maybe aggregating only PET bottles. So we'll now introduce them to recyclers that are into other types of plastic waste. So that way they know who to sell to. And then they'll ask their collectors to start getting that. So ultimately we find out that in the end, plastics are being recovered from the environment, reducing pollution as well as creating job opportunities for people that are in the sector.
Yeah. When you're talking about job opportunities, what are the categories? What is it? Those below the lines or graduates themselves who probably can earn a living as collectors and all of that?
So it all depends. So far, we've had people that are below the poverty line join the program. We've had people with disability join the program. We've also had graduates join the program. So another success story that we've had, we recruited some ad hoc staff in Anambra State, and we've asked them to go out there to the communities and talk to people about plastic recycling. And one of them, a graduate, actually picked interest in it and started an aggregation hub on her own. So now people are bringing plastic to her, and she's aggregating.
So it's from Anambra Delta, you also.
Okay, so at the moment the project is for Lagos and Anambra State.
Yeah. So you must be an Iberia. We need to fly.
Okay, so let me quickly jump in with respect to job creations and all that. So also in Delta, like I told you, TechnoServe has been in Delta for the past 5 to 6 years. Okay. So we've been able to train through one of our programs called Pan-African Youth Entrepreneur Development, where we've trained almost about 2,500 youths between Delta and Rivers on how to upskill their business, how to start their business. And now this one that we are doing in Horticulity is basically to not only help people on good agronomic practices, we're also looking at how they can make a business out of it. Okay. Do you understand? So you see, we have smallholder farmers, and then we are introducing home gardeners. Okay. I know the president's wife talked about people who are doing home gardening, so we started even before the initiative came up. And now you have in communities, about 7 communities, Ila, Ubolu, Obulokiti, Ogwashi, and all of them. Now, in the comfort of their home, they can produce tomato, they can produce cucumber, they can produce some of these things that they eat, and they also sell. So they are bringing up businesses from them, and you see many stories coming up that I never know that I can even make a business while sitting down at home.
Yeah. Okay. This apple now, we have the green and the red. Do they have the same nutritional value?
Yes, the same nutritional value.
Okay, just color difference.
So what we are doing basically is to now, with Apple, because of the economic value, the smallholder farmers are still finding it difficult to grow apple by themselves. So what we are now doing is to start from secondary schools, primary schools. Yeah. So today we are going to be in Iseluku. We are also going to be in Ila.
Okay, to teach the children.
Teach the children, get them interested. We are TechnoServe through City Foundation is donating to them apple seedlings that have been grafted. Now, one of the things that we also discovered that many the agronomic practices go up. People are not aware of it. So in our needs assessment, we realize that so many things are there that people are not aware of that they can do. So TechnoServe is coming up with this approach to teach them step by step. We've done that in the last 1 year and they've seen the results, so they are eager to do more. So what we're doing with Apple is to start about some few seedlings of apple that have been grafted. When we talk grafted, that's one of the things that people don't know. When they plant apple and you don't graft it, it doesn't fruit. So we are teaching them all these basic things that they need to do, so that we hope that in the next few years down the line, you see more apple being grown even in the local community in Delta than even in Lagos.
Okay, just a quick question there. The apple tree, it's a beauty to behold. This brings us to the issue of the gestation period. What is the gestation period?
So for the fastest one, the species, it's about 4 years. So what we have done is that we have nursery some for the past 2 years. So it's a nursery one that we are giving to the schools first, and then we're also taking them to start the nursery by themselves. Since it's school is always ongoing, and we are bringing in the principals, the school board to be in the know so that they can also help, and we are going to be providing them with not only the capacity building but the materials for them to see it grow. So once it grows, we hope that the children, after leaving the school, can also go home and use that knowledge to start something.
Yes, I'm going to enroll in your class. I need to plant apples at the back of my house. Thank you so much. Because of time, we cannot take further questions.
No, might be able to take a few, one or two. I'll just ask quickly. View on the apples there. From your perspective, just as we drop it.
Okay, so the perspective is just basically because of the nutritional value of apple. And again, we are focusing on the children because this is the future of the country. And then we want to see them have this nutrition in their system so that as they grow healthy, and then they can become, they can be prosperous in future.
Okay. All right, so quickly tell us about the events that is coming up.
Okay, so we are looking, when we're talking about soil, the major problem that we have identified so much in South is the soil content and how they can manage the soil. So we are looking at the World Soil Day is coming very soon in December. So TechnoServe is also gathering stakeholders together to discuss and some of our findings and proposed solutions that we are bringing on board, both from his project and my project. I put it on board and let everybody see, and then we can see, other people coming in with their suggestions, and we hope that by that we'll be able to have an all-inclusive solution towards solving the problem of soil management in the state.
Okay, I want my brother Bennett to respond to this. It's a personal question. Okay. They say take an apple a day and stay up the doctor. What endures you to apple?
Yeah, I think Kazim has already said
it's
that.
It's your opinion, your personal. You eating apple.
So I agree with what he said. That's why I was saying that we already know the nutritional value of apple, and then apart from the nutritional value, I think it's also one of the fruits that I enjoy having because of the taste as well.
Okay.
We're looking at the costing. Costing now, it's
thank you so much, Tano. Thank you. I need to go grab my apple.
Even with that, if you look at other fruits, everything is getting expensive.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
That's
and
correct.
that's what we are trying to bring down by making it more affordable.
There are some women when they are pregnant, they say apple is what they want to eat all through.
All right, I know you're going to go there. Thank you so much, Tano.
So let's see how the apple looks like. We'll drop it there. I'd like to thank you so much, Mr. Benedict Obasoya, Senior Program Manager, and Kazim Omiyale, Senior Project Specialist, as we celebrate the World Apple Day. And we do hope that we're part of all your successes together. So I think this is where we'll drop this conversation this morning. Lilibet, You need to take an apple and see how it feels like.
Yes, I'll take the apple after I wash it. Please don't eat apple without washing with salt and water. Tano is trying to make me do that. I'm not going to do that. Well, for my goodbyes, I'll say when you try to rush things, you let your anxiousness consume you. So please take it a step at a time. My name is Lilibeth Ugochukwu. Have a beautiful day.
All right, have a World Apple Day, if you ask me. God bless Delta State, God bless Nigeria. I will do this again same time tomorrow. I'm out. My name is Odometa.
Let's go! No.
Let's go. If we continue like that, where we go head? Bros, calm down. I know say it be like see all of us the first now. But more will not say any damage where we they cause now. Not to our own state. And when we